Role of Central Armed Police Force in Election. This video is prepared by Dr. Y.P. Singh of SR Government Polytechnic College, Sagar, Madhya Pradesh. Disclaimer. This training material is for use in training of election officials. It should not be referred as guidelines of Election Commission of India. In case of any variance in this training material, an ECI guidelines or rules or laws shall prevail. CAPF, Central Armed Police Force. CAPF allotted for election work shall not be kept as reserves and shall be actually deployed on election-related duties. In rarest of rare cases, if CAPF are to be deployed as reserves, they should be made available with suitable communication and mobility facilities for contingent deployment and movement on short notice. The proposal for keeping CAPF should be discussed with the observer and should be sent to the Commission through CEO for permission. Splitting of sections and deployment of half section of CAPFs in the areas which are not insurgency or militancy or Naxalite affected is allowed. These forces must not be deployed in less than one section strength in insurgency, militancy, Naxalite affected areas. The SP of the concerned district shall certify in writing whether the area is insurgency, militancy or Naxalite affected or otherwise. Deployment. Past history of the constituency or the polling area regarding incident of booth capturing, violence, riots, large-scale impersonation, etc. Information regarding abnormal law and order situations in particular area. Specific complaints made by political parties and candidates. Nature of contest, that is political status of candidates, political rivalries, number of history sheeters and absconders, number of SC/ST electors. Deployment in critical polling stations. In the critical polling stations, order of deployment of forces shall be as CAPF followed by State Armed Police followed by District Armed Police. Security for observer. Observers appointed by Election Commission of India shall be provided adequate security. Area domination. Briefing is to be given to CAPF personnel about challenges of area. CAPF will undertake area domination etc. till 2 days before the polling day. Shall be given static duty at polling stations. The commanders or assistant commanders of the CAPF shall be given a list of vulnerable locations. Area domination in Naxal affected areas. In Naxal and other insurgency affected areas, CAPFs may be deployed for active election related duty other than static duty at polling booths such as mobile patrols with magistrates, area pickets, check gates and quick reaction teams located in specific areas, etc. Within district, such deployment has to be approved by General Observer and for interstate deployment, approval is required from CEO. Advance arrival of CAPF. Shall take out flag marches, point patrolling, checking of borders, etc. and other confidence building activities. Poll-leave activities. Shall take position in and control of the respective polling stations. Poll day activity. Shall be primarily responsible for protecting the polling stations and regulating the entry inside the polling stations. As per Honorable Supreme Court's order, one Jawan of the CAPF shall be deployed at the door of the polling station in order to observe the proceedings that are going on inside the polling station, particularly to ensure that no unauthorized person enters the polling station. Persons authorized in the polling station. Polling team, candidate, election agent, person authorized by Election Commission of India, public servant engaged for election duty, observer appointed by Election Commission of India, baby in the lap of voter, helper of infirm and blind voter. More than one polling station in a building. CAPF Jawan shall oscillate from one polling station to other and look at what is going on inside these polling stations and report to the officer in charge of the CAPF party or observer if something unusual is observed by him. Poll day activity. The company commanders of CAPF will also move in their respective polling station areas as an area domination force and confidence building measure in the catchment area of polling stations. No senior officer of the local state police shall exercise any supervision and control over the CAPF at the polling station. Poll day activity. No verification of voters by CAPF. CAPF Jawan posted at the entrance of the polling station shall not verify the identity of electors coming into the polling stations to cast their votes, as such verification is the duty of the polling personnel. Specific things to watch. No unauthorized person is present inside the polling station at any time during the poll. The polling party or the polling agents do not attempt to cast any vote or votes when no voter is present inside the polling booth. No polling officer accompanies any voter to the voting compartment. No polling agent or polling officer threatens any voter or makes any gesture to threaten them. No arms are carried inside the polling station. No silent rigging takes place. If found something wrong inside the polling station, if the CAPF Jawan posted at the entrance of the polling station discovers violation of the election process described in the previous slides or observes something unusual going on inside the polling station, he shall not interfere in the poll process but report the same to the officer in charge of the CAPF party at the polling station or the central observer. The officer in charge of CAPF party will in turn send this information to the returning officer and also observer on the same day in writing for the further necessary action. The returning officers or observer will forward adverse reports which are received from the CAPF parties to Commission for further instructions. Responsibility of law and order. Responsibility of maintenance of law and order shall rest solely with the local state police. Strong room. Responsible for guarding the strong room where the polled VVPATs, EVMs are stored and kept till the day of counting. Payment of honorarium. If duty is for 15 days or less, officers Rs 2500, subordinate officer Rs 2000, other ranks Rs 1500. If duty exceeds 15 days, additional enhancements per week. Officers Rs 1250, subordinate officer Rs 1000, other ranks Rs 750. In this video, we have discussed roles and responsibilities of CAPF. If you have any suggestions, then contact through the mail shown on the screen. For other election related videos, please visit at the address shown on screen.